Hey, welcome back to Left 4 Dead Garage. Well, it's that time. You probably wondered, well, what time is it? Well, it's time to get back on the El Camino. We've pedaled with this thing a little bit here and there, off camera. Still have a pretty big list. I got the roadkill list out here, cardboard and all. Cooling system and fans aren't fully done. Got the rad in. Chopped down a factory 99 and up 5.3 Tahoe pickup hose, whatever, upper hose, and then this lower hose is a Speedway, like the silicone aluminum tubing kind of kit thing. Heater hoses are on. The intake manifold's on. Had to swap injectors and went ahead and swapped the rails because there was some. It was green in there. It almost looked like pennies had melted, like, you know, copper turns green. Still have to do the harness. Got the throttle cable on. It's a little Amazon throttle kit. Had to use some big fat fender washers to try to get everything to work, but it seems like it works. Barely, like barely had enough room, had enough cable. I'll see if he can give me the link to that thing, and I'll put it down in the description box. So do harness, fuel lines, transmission lines. We're going to do a transmission cooler, external cooler. Joe's here now. Slowly but surely. Oh, we have to address what mystery lies beneath. We're inside. The 10 bolt that's going to die sitting here. So, well, we're going to jump on this thing, see what we can figure out and see what we can get done. And it looks like he's brought me some wheels for my Impala, because I see some fancy lug nuts over here. So, all right, we'll get back to you.
Competition Products, your source for hardcore engine parts for street, strip, and oval track. Our free catalog is packed with hundreds of product lines from the best-known manufacturers in the performance industry. Lowest prices guaranteed. Free shipping and handling on all orders over $149 in the continental U.S. Need expert advice? Our knowledgeable staff is just a phone call away. Competition Product, race parts sold by racers since 1970.
All right, step one on this list. These headers might look good, but they do not play well with anything. I know it's hard to tell on camera, but these plug wires are all up on these headers, like ridiculously. And then getting plugs on down in there, another problem. Also, got some steering shaft to tube issues, and really, plug wires are so tight, probably need to make a set. And just build a set of plug wires and run them underneath. And then need to do something about the shaft. Really don't want to beat on the tube. I know it probably wouldn't hurt it, but I hate doing that. I just hate seeing the header beat up. So for the time being, since he's got brand new plug wires, good plug wires, CTSV to AC Delcos, we're gonna pull these headers off, gonna put truck manifolds on it and see how they fit. That way you ain't got a monkey with the steering shaft, ain't got a hammer on no tubes. Plug wires fit. So that's what we're gonna do. Get this side off. Joe's already got that side off. And we'll run out here to the Horde and see if we can find us a good pair of truck manifolds. It shouldn't be a problem finding some around here. So, all right, well, the truck manifolds will work on the passenger side. They will not work on the driver's side. Let's see. What did I do with that thing? You can see this side. I mean, it's close. It gets real close to the frame rail back there. I mean, I'm sure you could probably manage it. It would take some dinging of the. It would take some dinging of the exhaust. Get you on this side. I might see it better. But back there. That flange is right there near that rail. Well, I don't know what I did with the. Still under the car. But anyway, you got a 3-bolt flange. It's laying around here somewhere. Anyway, the 3-bolt flange is just not going to jive with the frame rail. I don't even think you could get you might be able to get it in there, ding the pipe up, not use studs, use bolts, you know, because it's got 3 studs that hold that flange to the manifold. So what's going to happen is he's just going to get a set of swap headers, or supposedly LS1 F body manifolds will clear. So I'm going to try to surf some Facebook Marketplace and see if we can find one of those. Also going to do the Jeep steering shaft and just get this big honking thing out of here. That U-joint type deal, there's 2, like on these fat sides, there's 2 kind of look like bearing type deal with the flats. I think like a D or a double D type shape, similar to this, kind of similar to that setup there. That's a double D shaft. I'm gonna do the Jeep shaft. I also forgot to mention, still got to figure out what in the world to do with the shifter. I don't necessarily know if the column shift is going to work. I've personally not looked into that, and I'm not sure how far Joe looked into it. But the shifter is pretty important. So, also we looked into the rear end deal, and the C-clip area of this axle is keeled. Check it with a set of calipers, and that's right at 300 thousandths in there. Now we pulled the passenger axle too, and it measured 180, so nearly double, and that was enough for at one time this thing spit the C-clip out of it. So I'm gonna try to get an axle shaft. Found a pair on Facebook Marketplace in Denver, which 45 minutes away, a pair for 50 bucks. So that's quite a bit cheaper than one single axle from Summit. So the spider gears had some chipping in the teeth. The actual the big gears, the axle side gears, they look pretty good. It does have like an LSD in it, but could probably just put those spider gears back in there and it would be okay. More than likely, when it spit that clip out, it could have, you know, sent some stuff through the goods. But I think what I'm gonna jump on now, I'm gonna clean up. I'm gonna loom up and get this stuff way up out of the way, up on the wiper cowl. And I'm gonna get his harness out. We'll take a look at that, lay it on there, start plugging some stuff in and see where it wants to lay. And just gotta do some fuel line plumbing. Hopefully there's a fitting. So we're gonna use the Corvette regulator. So we'll just cap this return here. And then I've actually got the fuel line pulled down out of the way when we were monkeying with this manifold. Transmission lines, I don't even think I have those on there, do I? On the list. Transcooler, I guess that would cover that. So if you don't have any trans lines, you can't hook the transcooler up. Measured the drive shaft. So he took the stock drive shaft with him. It looks like there's plenty enough to cut down on that small end, on the transmission end. It needs to come down probably a good 6 inches, you know, because this was a 3-speed automatic car, so that 60E is quite a bit longer. But I'm gonna drag this harness out, and we'll see what we can get going. This is an Amazon harness, if I'm not mistaken. Find somewhere to lay this thing down, open it up. Never used one of these. Got some instructions in there. Those must be bolts for the PCM plugs. LS Vortec 4L60 standalone drive-by cable. So I'm gonna lay this on here and we'll see what we can do with it. I'm try to stand you up. I could get the tripod out, but let's see. got a big grommet here, so I guess you could probably put it in the car. Because I mean, is that what they want you to do? OBD2 port. To be honest with you, I don't. Let's see here. Injector plugs, that's a cool pack. Big gray one right here is the transmission. That's your speed sensor. So you got a ground cluster. Let's see. Alternator plug. It does not want to plug in. Why is that backwards? Why don't that plug in? Brown, blue, purple, pink. So we know that's the correct side for that. That looks like map sensor. I don't think that's the right alternator for this plug. I'm fairly sure that's what that's for. Because this should be coolant temp. I got the temp sensor is actually broke, but I have one over here. It's not mine. Somewhere. I lost it already. I'll get the plug. Alright, that's coolant temp sensor. This has to be the alternator plug. That is not right. What is this guy? That's a little round thing, okay. That's this. That is this. Temp. Alright, so I have to change the alternator. What are these guys? I'm not going to. I hope these are the right injector for this plug. I don't believe they are. Alright, that is another problem. So you got to change injectors or buy the jumper. Crap. That's kind of where not reworking your original harness can bite you, because you got the wrong alternator plug, the wrong injector plugs. We can run that trans jump down there. That's O2. We have another O2 right here. It's another O2. It's like a ground. Just put that in there just to hold it. What's your other cool package? Injector plug harness. Not that it needs it, but is this thing wired for an EPAP? It don't fit, so I'm not sure what that is. This should be map sensor. It's a mess. Alright, we'll just hang the trans stuff on that side. You got mass air meter, which I have one laying here. Needs to be cleaned, but so mass air meter. I'll be honest with you, I can't remember right off the top of my head what the heck that goes to. It's the air meter and that air intake temp sensor is all built into the air meter. Where do you go? Stick these right here. It's like this guy. What does this do? What am I missing here? Somewhere there's a crank sensor plug. These may go to the starter. That's probably crank sensor. That's O2. This manifold's bolted on. Let me just go down there and check and double check on that crank plug. Be right back. Alright, GoPro problems figure. Go figure. So that was crank sensor plug, and those two power wires go to the starter, which will get 12 volts from the big wire, ground. 2-inch hole saw for rubber grommet on the firewall. So they do want you to run that stuff in the car somewhere. Alright, I gotta do a little investigating in this. I'll get back to you. Alright, long overdue, but for probably several good reasons. One, I've been busy on other junk, and unfortunately, Joe's had massive Ford problems. So, Ford problems mean 6-liter Ford. He's getting that situated though, but we're going to continue on. He doesn't know this until he sees this video probably, but got a few new parts in. Hopefully they fit, and one being drive shaft. He did swap out the axle, so I don't know if I showed you that or not. Pretty sure I did. Swapped out the axle. It's not wanting to just fall out of the housing now. So we'll try to put this drive shaft in, and we have a set of headers. Set of Hedman engine swap headers. Hopefully they go right in. But first off, we're going to try the drive shaft. Drive shaft and headers, I'll close the video out, and then next I'll start focusing back on wiring and what in the world to do with this weirdo harness. It's designed to go through that side of the firewall, and if you'll just take a moment and look at that side of the firewall, just gaze upon it, and you know, there's no room. So I just don't know what to do over there. I guess I'll have to sleep on it for a little longer. Hopefully these headers work and we can put his spark plugs, use his, these are Cadillac CTSV plug wires. But sadly one of them has a split boot somewhere. It's just like filleted open, so I might have to order an LT1 boot to put on it. Unless I have a stock one here somewhere. But let's see if the drive shaft fits. All right. Oh, it's not too dark under here. I can't remember if I need a rag or not for this, but I guess we'll find out. Oh yeah. Alright, we'll just let that dangle right there for a second, and I'm going to pull these U-joint straps off this yoke. I also have to put gear oil in this thing. Guess I could have got a 7/16 wrench. Alright, let me get a wrench and shop towel. Gonna need both. We got a handy dandy slip yoke for a transmission plug. You have too many of them things laying around. Move the flashlight, it's all in the way. I don't know why that was so tight to get started. All right, drive shaft fits in here nicely. (61.5 inches), if you're wondering, is what that measurement is, and that is from the back of the transmission tail housing to the face of this yoke. So, I don't know if the El Camino has the same wheelbase as the Malibu. Or the other G-body families. Another day of thunder in the background. Hopefully it does not pick up on the camera too much. Fumble. There's been days where I couldn't even video because of the thunder. I can't run the fans because that's all you hear in the background is the fan running, even when it's not near. So, trying to do better about the audio. Let me put this thing in park. All right, let me get this tag off this yoke. I also need to grease this U-joint, I guess, when we put the gear oil back in the rear end. I'll clean this mess up, open these headers, and well, you know what's next. Alright, we've got a set of Headman, what are these things called? Muscle rod headers, engine swap header, part number 45,000, 45000. Pray to God these work because I gave them the part number. Joe may or may not know about these, so probably does now. Headers. Nice ground. That flange is super nice. Passenger side, it's a good looking header. Ball and socket, which is fantastic. No header, no collector gasket needed. Plus it gives you a little flexibility. This is pretty nice. What I'll probably do is, actually this is what I will do, I'm going to test fit them. And then I'm going to pull them back off, clean all the oil off of them. And I know that the paint doesn't last forever, but it'd be nice to slow it down some. Probably go get a couple cans of some high temp paint, put on here. And that way it's just not raw steel right out the gate. So. We still have a truck manifold on this side. Need to pull it off, and so I can get this header on. The driver's side was the kicker, so what I could do There's no manifold on that side. So we could just go ahead and try this one right quick. Especially before it looks like it's about to storm any second. Plus you hear the dog barking. That's one of the for sure tales around here. That's all. Good trash box. All right, I got some in my eye. He also brought me a new steering shaft for this thing. It gets rid of that big gawky joint that sits right here. I don't know if these will go from the top or the bottom, or come up from the bottom. More than likely they'll come up from the bottom, but you never know. Oh, look at that. Let me grab some bolts. Well, they fit so good they won't even hang out right here. Now, there is one thing that we'll still have to address, get creative or something. These will not work with the column shifter, not with the 700R linkage or whatever. So we're gonna have to do something different with that, I believe. But if anything, run a floor shifter. I know that's not what he wants to do, and I don't blame him. It'd be nice just to leave it on the column. But I've seen a couple different kind of setups, so we might be able to pull off. But I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Good news is these fit fantastic on this side. Let me get over there and pull that one off, and I'll get right back to you. All right, this one, it just simply comes up from the bottom. Matter of fact, even the spark plugs are still in it, so I mean, it just fit right in there. Stick a couple bolts in it, do a test fit. Driver's side looks amazing. You can get to every one of the spark plug holes. Unlike those stainless headers he had, frame clearance is fine, control arm clearance, oil filter clearance. It all looks great. This side got A-arm clearance. I don't know if you can see that down there. I'll get the light out of the way. Frame clearance, transmission clearance. You can get to the starter. Spark plugs are still on this side, and they are easily accessible right between those tubes. So I guess what I'm gonna do, pull these back off. I want to make a mad dash to Riley's, pick up some high temp paint, some brake cleaner, get these things cleaned, and let's get a little paint on them so I'll slow the rust down some. I know Joe is just like I am, and I'm sitting here thinking, God, I wish he could get these things ceramic coated before we run it. But I know with the Ford situation, it's just not possible. But you know, it can also be done at a later date. We're getting closer, I guess, to get the headers painted, and then next up I'm going to tackle this wiring and see what in the heck I need to do. Where in the world I'm gonna put it. So I guess that'll be it for this long wait
this very delayed second video of the El Camino. We are at 1,400 subscribers currently. Don't forget the 1,500 subscriber giveaway. So getting kind of close to that. If you're unfamiliar with what that is, I'll put a link in the description below. Thanks to everybody taking the time to watch, comment, share, and we'll see you at the next one.